We've all seen them, right? The perfect travel photos. The breathtaking landmarks, the buzzing street markets, the promise of an adventure you'll never forget. You get inspired, book the flight, pack the bags, and brace for the trip of a lifetime. The world is packed with incredible places that can shift your perspective and forge memories that last forever. But in some of the most popular and historic cities, there's a reality the travel brochures conveniently leave out, a side that exists just beyond the perfectly framed photos and 5-star reviews. Behind the beauty and charm of many destinations, hidden dangers can lurk. And I'm not talking about the usual travel headaches, like a canceled flight or a missing suitcase. I'm talking about serious risks, from clever scams and rampant theft to shocking levels of violent crime and political turmoil that can flip a dream vacation into a real-life nightmare. Knowing your destination is about more than just a list of sights to see, it's about understanding the world you're stepping into. Today, we're counting down 30 cities where you need to keep your head on a swivel. Watch till the end, the number 2 and number 1 city on the list will shock you. This isn't about fear-mongering, it's about being aware. We're digging into hard data, official travel warnings, and on-the-ground reports to give you the real story. From tourist traps to serious safety threats, this is the list you need to see before your next trip. Number 30, Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Kicking off our list is a city in the American Midwest that's been fighting to reinvent itself but still faces very real safety issues. Cleveland, Ohio, has a violent crime rate that's well above the US national average. While it's home to gems like the Rock and Amp Roll Hall of Fame, certain areas are hotspots for assault and robbery. In 2024, its homicide rate was reported at 33.7 per 100,000 people. Visitors are usually fine in the main tourist districts during the day, but it's smart to avoid walking alone at night, especially in neighborhoods you don't know. Number 29, Washington, D.C., USA. The capital of the United States is a city of power and history, drawing millions to its iconic monuments. But beyond the polished federal buildings and the National Mall, D.C. has struggled with violent crime. The city has seen its crime rates fluctuate, with carjackings and robberies being notable problems in certain areas. While the heavily policed tourist zones are generally safe, the risk level can change dramatically just a few blocks away. The best advice? Stick to well-trafficked areas and use reliable transportation at night instead of walking through unfamiliar residential neighborhoods. Number 28, Natal, Brazil. Our first stop in Brazil is the coastal city of Natal, famous for its stunning sand dunes and gorgeous beaches. But despite its tourist appeal, Natal has wrestled with one of the world's highest homicide rates, which has been reported as high as 75 per 100,000 people. The violence is mostly driven by gang conflicts, but tourists can easily get caught in the middle or be targeted for theft. Armed robberies are a major concern, so visitors are strongly advised not to wear flashy jewelry or carry expensive gadgets. Number 27, Manila, Philippines. The capital of the Philippines is a sprawling, chaotic, and energetic metropolis full of contrasts. While it's a major center for commerce and culture, it also has a high crime index. Tourists are frequently the targets of scams, from rigged taxi meters to credit card fraud. Pickpocketing is widespread in crowded places like markets and on public transport. While violent crime isn't at the level of some other cities on our list, the British Foreign Office and other governments warn travelers to be vigilant, avoid showing off their wealth, and be very careful where they wander, particularly after dark. Number 26, San Pedro Sula, Honduras. For a long time, San Pedro Sula was known as the murder capital of the world. While its homicide rate has fallen significantly from its peak, it remains a city where travelers must be extremely cautious. Gang activity and the drug trade are still the main drivers of violence, and armed robbery is a serious danger for visitors. ATMs are known hotspots for criminals, and it's recommended to avoid using them at night. If you go, travel in groups, skip public transport, and never walk alone after sundown. Number 25, Salvador, Brazil. Located on Brazil's northeast coast, Salvador is famous for its incredible Afro-Brazilian culture and massive carnival celebrations. It's a beautiful city, but it's also plagued by violent crime, largely fueled by drug trafficking. For tourists, the risks are highest outside the main, heavily policed areas. Robberies are common, and it's best to leave valuables like phones and cameras locked up at your hotel. If you want to explore the city's less traveled neighborhoods, only do so with a trusted local guide. Number 24, New Orleans, Louisiana, USA. Famous for its wild Mardi Gras parties, incredible jazz scene, and mouth-watering Creole food, New Orleans has a cultural energy that's hard to beat. But underneath that party vibe is a serious crime problem. The city consistently has one of the highest homicide rates in the United States. While the French Quarter is generally safe during the day thanks to a heavy police presence, things can change fast at night. Mugging and assaults are a real risk, especially if you wander off the main, brightly lit streets. Number 23, Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. The capital of Papua New Guinea is widely considered one of the most dangerous cities on the planet for travelers. With a homicide rate of around 54 per 100,000 people, violent crime is a massive problem. The city is notorious for the rascal gangs, known for their brutal methods, including carjackings and armed robberies. Traveling at night is extremely risky and should be avoided completely. Many foreigners who live there reside in secure compounds and hire security details just to get around. Number 22, St. Louis, Missouri, USA. For years, St. Louis held the grim title of America's murder capital. And while recent data shows that homicides have started to decline, the violent crime rate remains exceptionally high. The city is deeply divided, with some neighborhoods being perfectly safe while others are incredibly dangerous. Visitors are generally fine around the Gateway Arch and downtown, but straying into unfamiliar territory, especially after dark, is a bad idea. Number 21, Kingston, Jamaica. The heart of Jamaica pulses with reggae music and history, but it's also a hotspot for gang violence. Kingston's murder rate puts it among the most violent capitals in the world, with some estimates as high as 70 homicides per 100,000 people. The U.S. State Department has issued clear warnings for certain neighborhoods in Kingston, which are effectively no-go zones for tourists due to shootings and robberies. While many visitors stick to all-inclusive resorts on other parts of the island, anyone heading into Kingston needs to be extremely cautious. Number 20, Baltimore, Maryland, USA. Baltimore, a city of historic harbors and charming neighborhoods, has long battled a reputation for high crime. However, the story here is changing. In 2025, the city has seen a historic drop in violence, with homicides down by over 22% compared to the previous year, reaching a 50-year low. Despite this incredible progress, the overall crime rate remains higher than the national average. While areas like the Inner Harbor are generally safe, it's still wise to be cautious, especially at night. It's a city moving in the right direction, but vigilance is still key. Number 19, Cali, Colombia. Known as the world capital of salsa, Cali is a vibrant city with a complex past. It was once the home of the infamous Cali cartel, and while the city is much safer than it was in the 90s, organized crime still fuels a high rate of violence. Certain districts are known to be dangerous, and tourists are advised to stick to the main tourist and business areas, especially after dark. Enjoy the music and dancing, but be smart about where you go. Number 18, Durban, South Africa. Durban is a popular coastal city known for its warm climate and beautiful beaches. However, it also has an extremely high crime index of over 80, which reflects a serious crime problem. Armed robbery and assault are significant concerns. While the beachfront promenade is a major draw, tourists are warned to be cautious, especially after dark. Walking alone at night is strongly discouraged anywhere in the city. Number 17, Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg, or Joburg, is South Africa's economic powerhouse. It's a city with a complicated history and a buzzing cultural scene, but it's also notorious for its high crime rates. With a crime index hovering around 80, the risks are real. Mugging is a common fear, and carjackings are a known danger, which is why many locals drive with their doors locked and windows up. Tourists should avoid walking at night and use reliable ride-sharing apps or pre-booked taxis. Number 16, Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The capital of Haiti is in a state of absolute crisis. For years, the city was unstable, but the situation has spiraled out of control, with powerful gangs now controlling huge parts of the city. The U.S. State Department has a level 4, do not travel advisory for all of Haiti, its highest warning. Kidnapping for ransom, violent crime, and intense civil unrest are the primary threats. At this point, travel to Port-au-Prince is exceptionally dangerous and strongly advised against by governments across the world. Okay, we're halfway through, and if this list proves anything, it's that being an informed traveler is crucial. Every destination has its challenges, and what's normal for a local might be a serious risk for a visitor. Have you ever had a scary experience while traveling, or do you have a safety tip that's never let you down? Share your stories and advice in the comments. You could make a real difference for a fellow traveler. Now, let's get back to the countdown. Number 15, Celaya, Mexico. Celaya, a city in the state of Guanajuato, has become one of the most violent places on earth due to a brutal war between drug cartels. The U.S. State Department explicitly forbids its own employees from traveling to this area. The city has recorded an incredibly high homicide rate, at times over 100 per 100,000 residents. While the violence is mostly between criminal groups, innocent people can easily get caught in the crossfire. All non-essential travel to Celaya should be avoided. Number 14. Memphis, Tennessee, USA. Memphis is a city celebrated for its deep musical roots, but it also appears on our list for its stubbornly high crime rates. In recent years, Memphis has had one of the highest violent crime rates in the nation, nearly 6 times the national average. The city is dealing with a high number of homicides, assaults, and carjackings. While iconic spots like Beale Street and Graceland are major draws, visitors need to be extremely cautious, especially at night. Number 13. Pretoria, South Africa. Pretoria is one of South Africa's 3 capital cities, but despite its governmental status, it has a crime index of over 81, placing it among the most dangerous cities in the world by that measure. Armed robberies and gang violence are serious issues. Travelers are warned to avoid walking at night, even in groups. The level of risk requires constant awareness and the use of trusted, secure transportation. Number 12. Ciudad Obregón, Cajun, Mexico. Located in the state of Sonora, Ciudad Obregón is another Mexican city that has become a hotspot for cartel violence, with a reported homicide rate of a shocking 138 per 100,000 people. The fighting is over control of drug trafficking routes to the U.S. While the violence isn't typically aimed at foreign tourists, its sheer intensity makes the city incredibly dangerous for anyone. Number 11. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town is often called one of the most beautiful cities in the world, with Table Mountain and stunning coastlines. But this beauty hides a dark side. Cape Town has one of the highest murder rates in the world, reported at over 60 per 100,000 people. The violence is heavily concentrated in the Cape Flats townships, far from the main tourist areas, and is primarily driven by vicious gang wars. However, even in the safer city center, muggings and car break-ins are common. Number 10. Fortaleza, Brazil. Another Brazilian coastal city makes our list. Fortaleza is a major tourist draw with its urban beaches and nightlife. But it also has a homicide rate of about 69 murders per 100,000 residents, making it one of the most violent cities in Brazil. The beauty of its coast is tragically overshadowed by crime, including robberies and assaults that frequently target tourists. Flashing expensive electronics is a sure way to attract the wrong kind of attention. Number 9. Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. Right on the border with El Paso, Texas, Ciudad Juarez has a long and bloody history with cartel violence. For years, it was considered the murder capital of the world. While the situation has improved from its absolute worst, it remains a city with a very high level of violent crime. Its homicide rate is still among the highest in Mexico, fueled by turf wars over smuggling routes. Kidnapping and carjacking are also serious threats. Number 8. Acapulco, Mexico. Once a glamorous playground for Hollywood stars, Acapulco has sadly become one of Mexico's most violent cities. Located in the state of Guerrero, which is under a do not travel advisory from the U.S. State Department, the city's homicide rate has been recorded at over 110 per 100,000 people. The violence is a direct result of drug wars fought on its streets. Even with a heavy military presence on the main tourist strip, the violence often spills over. Number 7. Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. Pietermaritzburg may not be as famous as Johannesburg or Cape Town, but according to the Numio Crime Index, it holds the dubious honor of being the city with the highest crime index in the world as of mid-2025, with a score of 82.7. This reflects terrifyingly high levels of both violent and property crime, including armed robbery and assault. The advice for any visitor is to be extremely vigilant and rely only on secure transport. Number 6. Caracas, Venezuela. The capital of Venezuela has been in crisis for years, dealing with hyperinflation, political chaos, and a near-complete breakdown of public services. This has made Caracas one of the most dangerous cities on the planet. The U.S. State Department has a do not travel advisory for the entire country, citing crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, and the risk of being arbitrarily detained. There is currently no safe way to travel to Venezuela. Number 5. Ceiba, Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Now officially known as Ceiba, this coastal city in South Africa's Eastern Cape has one of the highest murder rates in the world. Recent statistics have placed its homicide rate at a shocking 102 per 100,000 people. This extreme violence is largely concentrated in the city's impoverished townships and linked to gang activity. The stark contrast between the tourist-friendly beachfront and the high-danger residential areas requires extreme caution. Number 4. Culiacan, Mexico. The capital of Sinaloa State, Culiacan, is the historic heartland of the powerful Sinaloa cartel. Recently, the city has been ripped apart by a bloody internal war between two factions of the cartel. This conflict has turned the city into a battlefield, with frequent gunfights and killings. The Mexican government has struggled to contain the violence, and the U.S. State Department has a do not travel advisory for the entire state. Travel to Culiacan is exceptionally dangerous. Number 3, Tijuana, Mexico. For years, Tijuana has been ranked as one of the world's most dangerous cities, with a homicide rate of around 138 per 100,000 people. Located right across the border from San Diego, it's a major hub for human and drug trafficking, leading to constant, brutal wars between rival cartels. While most of the violence is targeted, bystanders are often caught in the crossfire. Despite many people crossing the border daily without issue, both the US and UK governments advise against all but essential travel to the city. Number 2, the state of Colima, Mexico. The small state of Colima on Mexico's Pacific coast, including its capital city of the same name, has recently been ranked as having the highest homicide rate in the world. In one recent year, the city of Colima recorded a mind-blowing rate of 181.9 murders per 100,000 residents. This unbelievable figure is the result of a savage war between the Jalisco New Generation cartel and the Sinaloa cartel. The U.S. State Department has issued its highest do not travel warning for the entire state due to crime and kidnapping. Traveling to Colima is like walking into a conflict zone. Number 1, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, reiterated for emphasis. Topping our list, and a city we feel we must mention again, is Port-au-Prince. While other cities suffer from shocking levels of criminal violence, the situation in Haiti's capital is a full-blown societal collapse. With gangs controlling the streets, a non-functioning government, and a spiraling humanitarian crisis, there is no safety net. The do not travel advisories are not just a warning, they are an urgent plea. For the average traveler, there is no city on earth more dangerous to step into right now. And there you have it, 30 cities where you need to be seriously aware of your surroundings. From the cartel battlegrounds of Mexico to the gang-controlled townships of South Africa and high-crime areas in the United States, the world is a complicated place. But this list isn't meant to scare you away from exploring. It's a tool for awareness. The goal of any great trip is to come home safe with amazing stories. Being informed and prepared is the most important step you can take. Always check official government travel advisories before you book a trip. Talk to locals if you can, understand the risks, and most importantly, trust your gut. The world is full of wonder, and if you travel smart, you can see it with confidence. Thanks for watching. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that will help you become a smarter, safer traveler. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Stay informed, and stay safe on your next adventure.